A pleasure to meet all at last, and welcome back to Hot Wheels Hilarity DIY. Now comes the time where I basically go on ahead and talk a bit about something different for today. Here in early to mid-July, I'm probably going to be busy with a lot of other things, but let's go ahead and talk quickly about something that I managed to do over the course of the past few years. A specialized project simply known by the name of Octanium. One of the 9 silencers cars from Hot Wheels Acceleracers. And of course, we also can't forget to mention that, well, I've also done Hot Wheels Hilarity episodes surrounding the Acceleracers, all 36 of them. And this is of course one of 36 models, but as you can see, this is unlike anything that's ever been done. And I'll go ahead and tell you why. So, here we are. Octanium is going to sit down with these guys over here. Now, this is of course the 3rd time I've done this, and you might have seen these models before from the 2nd episode of DIY, but let me just tell you that Octanium was a pretty special project. And the reason why I have some of these other models right here is so I could showcase some of the things that I've basically done to help modify Octanium and also recreate Octanium basically from almost the ground up. What I've basically done is I've taken an original Acceleracers 2005 release of Octanium, which was basically in silver, purple, and a few other adjacent colors to the original show-accurate color scheme. Normally the base itself would pretty much be in sort of like a gray or a black of some sort, and the body and windows would pretty much be in silver and purple. And then of course, well, this metal part right here, basically showing like the engine and stuff, and even the Hot Wheels logo on the base itself. It's all just a big piece of metal that had been molded specifically to look more screen accurate. But let me just tell you, there's a couple things that I basically want to address really quickly based on how this exactly has a bunch of differences on it. Then, well, check out the wheels. The wheels were actually taken from a Rally Cat model. And not this one specifically, because, well, it obviously has its own wheels on it, pretty much. What I basically did was, I actually bought myself a second Rally Cat model to use as well. I guess the subject for, well, transplanting the wheels onto the base of Octanium and then throwing out the old wheels. So this way I wouldn't have to worry too much about Acceleracers related, well, things going on, because of course I've had the rest of all my Acceleracers models not in their original color scheme. But basically speaking, why I have some of these other models out right here is basically the main point about this, the whole reason why I wanted to have new wheels from the beginning, is because the old wheels were not necessarily in the best shape possible. And not only that, but also when it comes to the kind of framework and window work that it has, because there's been this common problem sometimes where a manufacturing defect, such as in the window or body construction of the plastic itself, sometimes goes awry. And this can, of course, allow the plastic to pretty much perch onto the axles of the wheels themselves. Normally you could probably see them, but it's not really in this case anymore. The reason, well, I actually fixed up that window sort of problem, because here's how I basically worked on Octanium from the start. I basically took a drill, and as you can see, these two little like rivet sort of things that are basically used to hold the body and the base together, I've drilled through those pieces right there, and it was easy to take the body right off. Oh, looks like it's up. Oh, what do you know? It's trying to come off again, so that's basically what it would have looked like if the body were able to come off. But the thing is, well, this model exactly, I basically took it apart. I took the base, the body, the window, and the engine components and all that good stuff, and basically just had them all laid out, because I wanted to set up a custom paint job. Mainly brown as well. The Acceleracers models I had were pretty much in all other existing color palettes that I basically wanted to have put together. For Octanium, I basically just selected brown, white, and blue, pretty much, as spray paints that would be metal friendly. So picking up metal-friendly spray paints was pretty much the best option I got, and man, looking at this thing now, that's pretty much just what happens here. The window's painted in blue, so it's pretty much just simply opaque, and it's no longer transparent. The body's in brown, and the base is in white. And for the metal part right here, and also forming the logo on the base plate here, I just kept it the same. I didn't really want to color the metal on that pretty much. But again, based on the wheels, I wanted it to, well, be replaced. So I picked up a second Rally Cat model, and well, as you can see, well, it rolls pretty good. Now, some models I've basically had for some time, well, like that one, it rolls pretty good. Electro Silhouette also runs pretty good. Volkswagen Type 181 also runs pretty good. 65 Ford Mustang convertible, also pretty good. And the Honda S2000, yeah, they all run pretty good, but I'm mostly speaking for the fact that Octanium is probably not necessarily the best in terms of its modification with the wheels, because again, since Rally Cat was basically the one I picked, it's a bit wider than Octanium, which pretty much meant that the cotter pins used to hold the wheels in place are, well, they're a bit longer than Octanium's original cotter pins with the wheels on them, so that sort of, well, leads to this sort of problem where they just, like, look at that. There's a big gap in between the wheel itself and the base itself, so I guess there's not really much I can do about that, but I guess my main thing is, well, in case you're looking forward to having your own custom project like this, then, well, I'd recommend getting a drill to get through these rivet parts. I'd recommend getting a new set of wheels in case you have that problem with the window or otherwise in terms of plastic defects and all that. I'd also recommend getting metal-friendly paints if you're wanting to recolor it in a specific way. And also, well, when it comes to reassembly, yeah, looks like it's trying to come apart again after some time, so I basically would recommend a bit of a super adhesive, pretty much. That would allow it to stick together nice and firmly without any chance of it pretty much coming off, but, well, I guess it's now time to, well, call it a day. I might as well get a little closing message for right now. And so, well, Octanium, Rally Cat, or, well, any other model in general probably will not necessarily want to be modified or tuned in a certain specific way, but in case you really want to get your craft on, then, well, I suggest trying something like this out. I could certainly tell you that from the way that this looks, Octanium in my collection sure is, just simply put, Octanium, no matter what. But I will say for sure that hopefully I won't have to have too many super big projects like this going on down the line, but in case something like that is ever going to have to happen at some point again, then, well, I sure know what kind of tools I'm going to be able to pick up. But for now, well, maybe I'm not going to have too much else left to touch up on. Maybe not for the next month, to say the least. But at least this gives me enough time to at least figure out what else I can potentially talk about here on HWH and or, well, anything else. So, if you want to see more, go down to my channel, then make sure to like, subscribe, comment, follow me on social media, and stay on the Hollywood side.